When I look back at how I met most of the women in my life, it usually began with an exchange of TMI, too much information. One morning I was at this cafe near my house. I come here whenever a deadline's breathing down my neck and home feels too alive with possibilities. This cafe is nice. It's not one of those aesthetic spaces with exposed brick walls and fairy lights where people come to be seen writing. Even the coffee is not that good. This is where real work gets done. Everyone glued to their laptops, an unspoken pact of mutual focus hanging in the air. So here I was as usual, setting up my fortress of solitude, laptop aligned just so, phone face down, coffee position where I wouldn't knock it over in a typing frenzy, earpods transferring isochronic beats into my subconscious for that perfect creative flow. The document I'd been avoiding, staring back at me. Deep breath, fingers on the keyboard, I was ready to write. "Excuse me," came a voice. It was the girl on my right. I took my earpod out and looked at her. "What's that perfume you're wearing?" she asked. She could have asked anything else, like, "What's the Wi-Fi password? Are you a writer? Do you know what you write about?" The typical things people want to know in a cafe, but my perfume? I didn't have time for this, but before I could find a polite way to end this, she was already leaning in, making a guess. "Is it L'Occitane?" I was embarrassed. Firstly, I don't think I even understood the name, and that pronunciation made it sound like a pretty expensive one. So I qualified my answer with my lack of taste in perfumes and said, "It's a pretty cheap one from West Side, rose and apricot." "Oh," she exclaimed. "The notes are so similar to L'Occitane. My best friend used to wear this and she's moved countries now. I haven't seen her in forever. But this scent, it's like she's right here." I laughed, disarmed by the warmth of a stranger trying to find a way to her best friend through me. And just like that, the floodgates opened. Work was kept aside, and we were soon exchanging stories of our past. We spoke about what hurt us and made plans for lunch in the same breath. Now, if my male friends overheard this conversation, they would have been baffled. But for me, this was not new, this immediate dive into the interiors of our lives with a girl I had never met before. And so, I never found TMI to be embarrassing, even though the word is often used as a measuring tape for intimacy, as if sharing our vulnerabilities is a social mistake, as if sharing our truths with a stranger is something to be ashamed of. A decade ago, in a night train from Delhi, in that strange hour past midnight where the world feels both asleep and awake, I was making a travel. As a woman, it was the hour where you feel hyper-aware of your body, your bag, every shadow crossing the passage. On the side berth, I saw a woman was still awake, grading papers under her phone light, red ink bleeding through each page. We exchanged glances. Sometime later, she offered me half of her aloo paratha, still warm in its foil wrapping. I had nothing but a packet of chips to offer in return. I moved closer to her seat and she asked me where I was headed. "Chandigarh," I said, then added with a hint of pride, "My first solo trip, actually." I was in Delhi. I just got a job, and I was here for my onboarding. I thought I'd extend the trip, see a few more places with my own money. So Chandigarh, then Kasauli, then Shimla. There's also this boy, my ex. He's in Chandigarh. We broke up, and he never told me why, and I felt I never got closure. So I may meet him for answers, but also to show him what I've become: independent, earning, traveling alone. She smiled. You know, she said, carefully folding the foil, men often leave when they sense we're about to outgrow them. Your first job, your first salary, and your first solo trip. This isn't about him anymore. This is about you becoming someone he wouldn't have been able to handle anyway. Between bites, she told me she was going to meet her sister who had just had a baby. My sister doesn't know I'm coming, she said. She called yesterday crying. 3 weeks since the baby, and she hasn't slept for more than 2 hours at a stretch. Her mother-in-law stands over her shoulder while she's nursing, telling her that she's doing it all wrong, that her baby's too thin, that her milk isn't enough, that she's failing at being a mother. I had no wise words to offer her in return, just gratitude that she felt she could share that with me. This is not just how I meet other women. This is how most women meet other women. In the bathroom of a dive bar, you're helping a girl with her liner and she says she's only here to make her ex jealous. Minutes later, you're exchanging stories of men you should have left behind sooner. Metro ride, you tell a woman you love her nails, you leave with her nail artist's number and her life's biggest regret. House party, you know no one else but the host. 2 hours later, you're sitting cross-legged on the floor with a girl who just told you her parents divorced when she was 12, and now you're both processing how your childhood shaped you. TMI is a language, and women are fluent in it. Perhaps because we've been conditioned to keep things neat, to stay within the boundaries of what is appropriate, to package our feelings in ways that are digestible for others. We're told to hold back our thoughts, our feelings, our truths, because too much of anything is a burden. Too much anger makes you a difficult person. Too much vulnerability gets you, "Are you depressed?" retorts. Too much joy makes you a silly girl. Perhaps also when a woman meets another, she knows she's met someone with whom she can share the most complicated details of her lives and be met with immediate comprehension. There is no justifying, qualifying, shielding, calculating what to reveal of ourselves, no judgment. When a woman meets another, TMI does not feel too much at all. It feels like speaking your mother tongue after having spoken the colonizer's language for too long. As I grow older, I think I am getting more fluent in this language. Perhaps because I'm learning to be less pretentious, to accept my truths, to speak them with another. But I also understand now that the quickest way to feel less alone is to say the thing you think you shouldn't say and watch how many others have been wanting to say it too. TMI is a language, and you might want to learn it. Thank you.